Welcome to our new session, students. Today we are going or dealing with a new chapter. So, before that, I would like to ask a question. Are you able to see this picture, students? While seeing this picture, what you can observe from it? Yes. Is that a real classroom? No. So exactly we can say this is not a real classroom. Right now we are not having a robot teacher. Am I right, students? In your class, do you have a robot teacher? No. We have a human teacher. So are you able to think like this, students? Have you ever feel like in other days or other in the future do we have this kind of feature teacher? So I think you are wondered about this. So we are going to learn a chapter about this, about the future school. It is actually discussing about the future school. So let us discuss it our school. Before that, I have one more question. What is an all period of a school? And then tell me what is the present school scenario. We know that we are not able to go to our school, and now we are not like able to attend our class in offline mode also. So here we have lots of problem. So you have to tell me what are the difficulties of current school and what are the changes in current and when comparing to previous school to this current scenario. So when we talk about current or present school scenario, we can say everything is become online. Am I right, students? And we are using e-materials also, and we have like instructors like e-instructors are available in our internet also, and everything has become online mode. Am I right, students? But if we talk about this like the previous scenario, or we can say the old one, we can say that everything was in offline mode, and every activity we conduct in classroom environment. Okay, students? So there is a physical relationship between classroom environment and also, okay, then also we can say everything, human teachers are there. Then we can physically physically communicate with them. We can also face to face contact is there. And then in that time actually we are using what kind of material, students? In the previous period we have used textbook, like printed materials are there, or written is also there. Printed and written books are also there. Okay, students? So these are the main difference between the old school and the present school. Am I right, students? Are you clear with this point? So let's move on to the next content. So this is the introduction of the lesson. So I will announce the name of this uh, prose, that is the fun they had 1951. Okay, students? And the fun they had by Isaac Asimov is a science fiction. Okay, students? So here you can see the writer is what? Who? Isaac Asimov, and he is a like famous in writing science fiction, and it is about the story, and it tells the story of two young children named Tommy and Marky, who live in the year of 2157, 2157, we can say like that also. So students, here is the main characters, that is Tommy and Marky. Okay, and who is living in the year of 2157, which means it is all about future. Now we are living in which year, student? We are living in 2022, but this story is actually happened in 2157. That means it completely talk about the future. Okay, students? Then where children get an education through computers at their home. So they are sitting in their home only, and they are like educating through internet or computers. So this is the story, students. So one day they come through a printed book, and learn something about the school that existed hundreds and hundreds of years ago. It is a matter of great surprise for them because they are living in the age of moving e-text. So here is clearly written about the theme of the story. Okay, student. So one day the Tommy and Margie, who are the like main character of the story, and they have come up with a printed book, which is very strange to them. So as we discussed that they are living in 2157, so they don't know about printed book or alt kind of school environment. So uh, actually for them, it is actually the book is actually existed hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Okay, so it is a matter of great surprise them. I have told you, they actually the book is very strange to them, and they are actually living in moving e-text. Moving e-text means what? E means what? E indicates electronics. So they are actually in electronic text or period. So they cannot actually realize that there is a printed book. This is all about the story, and let's move on to the next content. This story is set in future. Okay, students, yearly we have discussed that this is all about what? This is all about future generation. Okay, then when books and schools as we have now perhaps will not exist, so this is not there in their school. They have only know about e-text. And Marky and Tommy 150 years advance from today. So today here means they are counting this year 1951, and Margie and Tommy is right now actually 150 year advance from 1951, which means they are living in the future. Okay, and they compare those school with those of their own which are situated in their home, and have mechanical teachers to teach them. So here I have already told you they have mechanical teacher. Are you able to get this point, students? So they have only mechanical teacher, which means robotic teacher. Okay, then they find their own school dull and boring. They think that it was great fun to study in the school of all times, when all the kids in the area went there to learn the same thing by a man teacher. So they they actually come up with this idea. They thought that this is school very boring, their school is dull and boring, and they think that it was great fun because at least the all times they have a human teacher, because they can learn from them, and they realized that their school is very boring apart from old system. Okay, students, so in this story they are actually comparing the future school with the old school. Okay, students, they are comparing their school with old school. Okay, students, then you have to watch this video. I will send this video link below in my comment box. Okay, students, so you have to search and explore about the author with the help of this video. And the next thing is, I have written here, Isaac Asimov was an American writer. He is an American writer, and professor of biochemistry at Boston University. So is like story is all about scientific thing. Earlier we have discussed that it is all about scientific fiction, and he was known for his works of scientific fiction, science fiction, and popular science. So his stories contain some science fictions. Okay, some scientific elements also. Then you have to answer for this poll. So who will tell me? Yes, students. Who is the author of the fun they had? Right now we have discussed about the thing. So tell me, who is the story writer of the story? Is Isaac Asimov. And who are the main characters of the story? Right now we have discussed about them also, that is Tommy and Margie. And the story is happened in which year? I will show you. You have to guess. Yes, it is happened in which year, students? 2157. Okay, are you clear with this point, students? So, students, this is the very first passage of the story. I will read this passage to you. Margie Ivanhoe brought about it that night in her diary. On the page headed 17 May 2157, she wrote, "Today, Tommy found a real book. It was a very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on a book, on the book. Okay, students? So in here you can see Margie. The character Margie is actually writing a diary, and here they are also mentioning the date, that is 17 May 2157, which means future. So she is writing the diary in future year. So and the main theme or the main content of her diary was, "Today Tommy found a real book." So something actually Tommy is the next character of the story, and he actually found a real book, and for them it was a very old book. Okay, students? And actually her grandfather, when she asked to her grandfather, her grandfather had also share his prior experience or prior knowledge with them, and he told that he still remember her like his grandfather, which means Margie's grandfather is actually saying that his grandfather actually used this printed paper, where the stories are kept in a printed paper. Okay, students? So actually he is explaining his childhood experience. Okay, then in this next passage you can see they turned the pages which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awful and also funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen. And then when they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it and that it had when they read it the first time. So here they are actually describing that very old book, and they are actually describing the physical feature of the book. Okay, so the printed book were yellowish and crinkly means what, students? With many fold or lines. So here you can see this is a book. If we have many folds like this, we can say this is crinkly. So their book is very old. So it is actually look like a very crinkly and yellowish. Okay, and it was awful funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to. So in this line, what you can observe, students, in this lines they are saying the quality of that book, and if we like move the page, the content will remain the same. Okay, if we move the page into onto the next page, this page will contain the same content. So this is how they are describing about the new book. But for them, they are using screen, or we can say they are using e-text. So whenever we move on a e-text, maybe the data will be, the previous data will be, can be changed. Okay students, so this is the they are actually, for them this is actually very strange. So that's why they are saying like this. And then when they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it, and we have discussed it has same words, same contents, it keep remaining the same. Okay students, and it is actually their first experience. Okay, they are using this book in a first time, so they have already mentioned this also. And Guy said, Tommy, what a waste. When you are through with the book, you just throw it away, I guess. Our television screen must have had a million book on it, and it's good for plenty more. I wouldn't throw it away. So here you can see actually Tommy is reacting for this book. He's saying ghee. He's saying this is very bad. He's using ghee as because he thought that this is very like dull book, and this is not that much good as we compare to our e-book. So for them, the real book were what students? This all about e-text and e-content. Okay, so he's saying that what a waste, and when you are through the with the book, you just throw it away, I guess. And Tommy is just explaining to whom? Margie. And he's saying if you gone through the book, you will definitely throw it, because there is nothing in that book, and there is no quality, and we can say that there is nothing new in that book. And he is actually comparing the e-text with printed book, and he's saying in our television screen we can definitely collect millions of book, and it's good for plenty more. We can search or explore the new things in a different way. Okay, so in here you can see the Marquis is replying, I wouldn't throw it away. She's saying, I did not throw it away, and same with mine, said Margie. And actually, Margie is also saying that I'm also agree with this point. And she was 11 and hadn't seen as many telebooks as Tommy had. He was 13. She said, where did you find it? In my house. He printed without looking. Sorry. He pointed without looking because he was busy reading in the attic. And what's it's about and school. Okay students, so here Margie and Tommy is discussing about the printed book, and Margie is saying, I will not throw it because I love the book. Okay, and when comparing to Tommy, she was 11, so she is younger than Tommy. So she said she is actually asking about the book, and she is inquiring about where did you find it. And actually Tommy is replying, in my house. He pointed without looking because he was busy reading. Actually he was gone through it. Which book? Printed book. Okay, he was gone through the printed book. In the attic, which means what students? What is the meaning of attic? Here I have written as space just below the roof, used as a storeroom. So he got the book from where? He got the book from storeroom. So here you can use the word attic. So what's it about? So Margie is again curious about the book, and she is actually inquiring more about the book. So Tommy answered that it is all about the school. Okay, then what happened students? Before that, moving on to the next passage, you have to answer for the following question. What did Margie write in her diary? So in this passage we have discussed what Margie has wrote in this. Here you can see she's wrote about today Tommy found a real book. So that is the main theme of her diary. And in the next, had Margie ever seen a book before? Why? So you have to answer for this question also. We know that Margie is living in future 2157, and she did not, or she doesn't have a like experience about this real book. So she only knows about e-textbook, e-content all. So Margie do not have any idea about this printed book. And what do you think a daily book is? So you have to definitely answer for this three question. So let's us move on to the next content. In this, what you can observe, students: mechanical teacher giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse. Who had been doing worse, students? Here you can see the picture of Margie, and mechanical teacher is also there. So here they are saying Margie is doing worse. Okay, she's become very worse in her studies, and she's actually failing in her all subjects. So whenever mechanical teacher tests her knowledge, she will fail. Okay, so let's see what happened to Margie and Tommy. Margie was scornful. Okay, school, what's there to write about school? I hate school. Margie always hated school, but now she hated it more than ever. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the county inspector. So here you can see what is the meaning of scornful. So which means showing you think something is worthless. So it is actually used to show something worthless. Okay, students. So in this you can see how the Marquis is actually performing his academic task, and her mother is very tensed about her future, because she did not have any progress in her academic things, students. So and actually then after realizing this, her mother sent for the county inspector. Okay, here you can see what the county inspector is actually doing for her to improve the academical journey. Okay, so he was a round little man with a red face and a whole box of tools with dials and wires. So in this line here you can see this is all about county inspector, and writer is describing his physical appearance as well as his character. So he is a round little man, and he has box of tools with dials and wires. So it is all about wires and dials. So we know that they are living in future and they are using electronic things only. So when we deal with electronics things, that is all about dials and wires. So that's why he kept in his box wires and dials. Okay, and he smiled at Margie and gave her an apple, then took the teacher apart, and Margie had opened. He wouldn't know how to put it together again, but he knew all rights. Okay, all the things he knew. And after an hour or so, there it was again, large and black and ugly, with a big screen on which all the lessons were shown and the questions were asked. So actually the county inspector is checking how the Margie is performing. So first when he checking on her computer, she thought that he does not have any idea about this thing, and he cannot find anything about Margie. But after checking, she got to know that everything is actually recorded in her computer, and the big screen again appeared, and where the county inspectors can analyze how the performance of Margie is, and what are the performance of Margie is. So in this passage, we have deal with about the about the performance of Margie, and how she is able to do the academic things. We have discussed about that. And next you can see, he was a round little man with a red face and a whole box of tools with dials and wires. So here you can see, I have written that this is a line from our passage, and so you have to tell me, why is characterization important in writing. So in this you can see the writer is trying to explain the appearance or the character sketch of county inspector. So tell me, what is the importance of characterization in writing. So you can send it to me. Before that, I will ask you some question. To which world mm, does the story take the readers to? Future world, past world, present world, future world, where computers will play a major role. So what is the correct answer? Here you can see, this is the correct answer, and future world where computers will play a major role. And what is a virtual classroom? Class outside classroom, and class in the garden, class in the field, where learning done is through computer software and the internet. So tell me, what is the answer? What is the exact answer? So D is the correct answer. And who is the main character of the story? Parents, children, Margie and Tommy. So here we can say that Margie is the main character because she is the main protagonist of the story. And this is the recapitulation part. In today's class, we have discussed about the fun they had, and so you have to tell me, or you have to answer for these three questions. Who is the writer of the story? Who is the writer of the story, students? And what did Tommy find? And why did Margie hate school? So the writer is Isaac Asimov. And what did Tommy find? A real book. Actually, the Tommy found a real book. And why did Margie hate school? Because she don't like this electronic content, electronic teacher, or we can say mechanical teacher. She is very hated about these kind of things. Okay, and she is also worried about his academical activities. And this is a homework for you. What picture of the future does the fun they had paint? 13 to 40 lines. By using this instruction, you have to answer for this. And what appeals to Margie about the school from a century ago? So you have to answer for these two questions. This is a homework for you. So thank you, students. Thank you so much for